it's out. It's out. It's out. You can freaking relax. So, yeah, it was, very strenuous, hard, you know, last couple of days to study and, crank out these finals, but we're over with all the whole, we're done.
Did you get in all your work?
Yeah, I got in all my work.
Junior year,
Quintana, you got it all in?
Yes, I did
I
get it
did.
all in. But we're more excited for the summer and particularly the beach because we're really focusing on, a lot of, different activities we could do there this summer because it's hot out. Like, I want to get in the water.
Hendrix wants a tan.
Sweating.
I want to go, like, skimboarding or, get a little bit better at
Learn how to
surfing.
surf.
Yeah, I mean, if I could wake up at 7:50 for school every day, it's like I can wake up a little bit earlier, to do something actually fun. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not waking up early. Bro, it's summer. I'm sleeping in.
Nah, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's, different point of views. But, yeah, okay, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed school, but, like, waking up to go surfing is a much better feeling than waking up to go to a Quintana test or a, Lopez test. Like, I want to worry about, how many waves I'm going to catch, not freaking getting at least a 6 out of 10.
Facts. Keep the C in Quintana. It's freaking brutal. But not this guy, Exley.
Yeah,
Exley knows how to surf, though.
I do. Nah, but for surfing, like, you don't even have to wake up early necessarily. It's mostly just, like, as long as it's not windy and the waves are good, you can go really at any time.
Would you recommend surfing to anyone, actually?
Yeah, I would. It's relaxing. Like, when you're in the water, it just gets your mind off things. Like, you're really just focusing on catching a wave rather than what other issues you have going on,
I hear it's pretty therapeutic.
Oh, yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah, I used to go surfing a little bit more during like COVID because we had a lot of free time on our hands, but then I just didn't go for a while. But I plan on going a lot more this summer, hopefully, to strengthen my skill set. And I really want to do some skimboarding because,
Skimboarding's so fun.
but skimboarding obviously has such a high difficulty curve. It's like, I mean,
I feel like,
you're like surfing on like
I feel like if you learn how to surf, like skimboarding will low-key be easier. Because, like, you got to learn how to pump and stuff to get out there, like, when you're skimboarding and whatnot.
Well, skimboarding is also just, like, confidence, really. Like, if you could just
Right.
run fast and have the confidence to get on the skimboard, then you're literally good.
Oh, remember that one time we went to the beach and there was like the one Orange County guy who gave us like a full-on lecture about like
with
skimboarding
the half-dyed hair, yeah.
and like relationships.
yeah.
That was interesting. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm from OC. This girl tore out my heart. Yeah, make sure you go in with maximum effort and you have all your adrenaline just going when you reach for those those surface waves, man." And we're all like, "Oh, all right, interesting." But one thing we have to focus on is that if we really want to do all this stuff during the summer, we need to like focus more on these beach cleanups because I can't tell you the amount of times I've stepped on like trash or something more than I've stepped on a stingray like in the water, which is.
I mean, if we're gonna be going to the beach often, might as well clean them up. Have it be a nice place to relax and stuff. Don't want to worry about trash all the time.
Especially after July 4th. I know at the Bay there's going to be a lot of people partying over there. So, I mean, like, even picking up, like, one piece of trash, if, like, everybody does that, imagine how clean it would be. I mean, Long Beach is getting better. It used to absolutely suck. But, obviously it could still use some improvements.
Yeah, like,
exactly.
that reminds me one time there was, like, this kid named Jackson, I think, in my junior lifeguards group when it was, like, 4 years ago. But he stepped on like a piece of broken glass or like a hook or something, and it was like, it was like bleeding profusely, and he had to like be driven away, and I'm like, that shouldn't like happen so easily. I feel it's like,
No, exactly.
there's shit like for a beach. I get it's like a beach is like massive, but like, I literally see like needles, broken glass bottles, like cigarettes, trash bags. And that reminds me of, what's the one movie? Not Surf's Up. It's Happy Feet. Wait, no, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Wally?
Oh,
No.
In Wally, the trash is all.
No, but like, okay, Wally has a good lesson in that, like, you need to care for the environment because, then you're going to end up, in space just floating about, doing nothing and being, slothful all day. But I was talking about Happy Feet.
I don't think I've watched it.
No, because I remember in the movie there was like this penguin that had like a Gatorade or like a soda, like, those like things that
Oh,
carry
I know what
the.
you're talking about. Like the soda things, and it had it around his neck.
Yeah, he had it around his neck, and I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, well, this can happen, and then I looked it up, and I was like, this happens often. So every time we get like those 6-packs of soda for the summer, Gatorade, and we don't like cut up the circles, they end up in like animals' mouths or around their
Right.
necks because it can easily just choke them or suffocate them. And I'm like, that's really, that's just really like a little bit disheartening because it's like
Exactly.
they're like a limited species. Like a lot of species that we didn't think are going extinct are like going extinct. Like I think it was tigers, like just tigers in Africa, like their population is starting to dwindle.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
I mean, just regarding the ocean though, like we were saying, I mean, I wasn't really big on that like save the turtles like movement with the metal straws and whatnot. Like I'm a believer that you should be able to like eat whatever you want, do whatever you want, like use your plastic straws. Like I get the movement, you want to reduce the amount of plastic and whatnot, but I believe if you just pick up after yourself, you throw stuff away where it should be and not, like even if you're not directly throwing it away on the beach and leaving it on the beach, you throw it on a road, it gets pulled into the drains, which eventually leads to the ocean. So, I mean, it's really just having respect for wildlife, in my opinion, and almost respect for yourself and others. You don't want to be living in a trashy area. It's a resemblance of, how you live and the society in which you live in. You want it to be clean. So,
like there's just some things that like you can't do anything about it. Like if you have a water bottle in your hand and there's not a recycling bin anywhere and
Right.
there's a trash can right there, it's like sure you're not recycling, but you're at least throwing it away. But like some people, like you don't have to just throw out your McDonald's or your Del Taco out the window because it's going to end up on the street, which will go into the sewer, which will somehow make its way into the ocean, which is
Yeah.
one of the biggest issues.
No, it's not even that difficult to throw your trash away. Like, literally just put it in the trash can.
There's literally
Yeah.
trash cans like everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you can walk to like any block and there's bound to be something. And I mean, personally, if I don't see a trash can, I carry like the plastic on me. Like I'll hold it in my hand until I do see a trash can. Because personally, I just can't live like with constantly throwing stuff on the street or on the floor.
right.
I feel guilty, like straight up. So I have to do these things, and it makes me feel better just knowing that I can make a little difference. Because although it might not save everyone, if everyone were to do it, or even in little waves, it would save many more things and creatures than we may believe.
One thing, like, this reminds me of, like, one time when I was playing Pop Warner football in, like, I'd say 7th grade. It was, like, really bad environmental conditions, so I couldn't play because there was, like, a fire going on.
Yep.
And it was caused by, like,
Yep.
you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Where like the sky would like turn like orange and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I was
No,
like,
it's weird.
oh, this is something that's caused by, just lack of care probably. It's like, fires are a form of pollution sometimes because they can they can bring in harmful chemicals and, toxins into the air that people don't even notice. And then that's a direct example of it because we won't even think about how it affects us sometimes, maybe how it affects the ocean and, other places in the environment. But that was like a specific case where it directly affected us. I couldn't do my I had a game that day and I couldn't play because the conditions were too bad. It was just too hot out and no one could just breathe properly, and I was just like, this is not like something that is normal. Like stuff like this cannot just happen so casually. And what's crazy is that we're like, there's this counter in New York, like Luke, there's this counter in New York
Mm-hmm.
that's like we're not supposed to reach this certain degree in terms of, you know, environment in the environment. Like if we reach this overall degree, then it's like it will cause like irreparable damage to the earth. Do you remember, you know what it's called? It's like it's in, I think it's in like a,
I know what you're talking about.
it's in what's it called? It's in a what's the one? I literally know the name of the place. It's literally
Like
like
a city.
Times Square. Times Square.
Oh, okay.
I'm stupid. Yeah, but it's in Times Square, and it shows like a countdown of how much time it will take for us to get to that certain degree. And if we get to that degree, then we're pretty much, you know, we're pretty much screwed.
And the like interesting thing and like the crazy thing is like this is all preventable. And like you were saying with the wildfires, while that might not be like directly caused by, you know, people throwing Gatorade bottles and Del Taco out their window, a lot of those problems and a lot of that pollution is definitely highlighted by these fires. Because as you were saying again, Hendrix, when these fires do occur, they burn a lot of that pollution that we put on the floor and into our environments, and it kind of heightens how much we have not cared for the environment.
Yeah,
And
it's
sucks.
like a lack of care, you know.
Well, no, with the fire thing, it's like it's usually caused by like people throwing like cigarette butts and stuff and not putting out their fires that they were like having when they were camping. So that's really all related to like carelessness and people not throwing their trash away.
Right.
And also like not taking the time to actually put out the fire when they're camping and stuff, and not having hot embers near like dry brush.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. It's just like we were saying, you know, it seems like something so insignificant, like, oh, I'll just do this one time. Obviously a cigarette butt is a little different, like you should know the consequences if you throw it on like dry brush or something. But that just ties into what we were talking about with the beach, you know. Just one piece of trash, it won't hurt, but you know, everybody does that. You do that once every so often, you know, it's just going to keep piling up into the ocean. And I mean, that could be, I don't want to sound corny, but you know, like that could be an animal's life, you know. It's just kind of not disturbing, but just kind of sad, you know, like they can't even help that. They can't do anything about that.
That reminds me of when me, Luke, Exley, and my friend Jake Ritter, we made a documentary called like One Last Shot, and it really just showed like a big difference between, you know, Irvine's beaches compared to Long Beach beaches. And when we went to Shaw's Cove, it was this beautiful place. It was spotless. There was no trash anywhere, and the water was just like so clear that like I put my hand very far down and I could still see it. Whereas in, you know, Long Beach, it's like everything
Kind of green.
It's kind of murky.
Yeah.
You know?
nasty.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true though, because we often catch ourselves, you know, like going to Laguna or somewhere literally just to swim. I mean, it could be for different reasons, like you might want to shop, but that's what I notice every time I'm down there with my family. It's like, oh, like look how blue the water is compared. My mom always says like she hates the Long Beach beaches. She thinks they're like gross, and it's kind of true. Like they're not disgusting, but the water's like almost green, you know. It's just you can't really see too far. And yeah, there's definitely more trash like along the like coastlines. So
And I mean, come on now. We shouldn't be. I mean, of course, you know, obviously Long Beach isn't the nicest beach, but we live right next to it, and we shouldn't have to be driving 30 minutes to go enjoy ourselves in literally the same exact ocean.
Right.
I think that's stupid. Going back to surfing, like I've rarely met anybody who surfs at Long Beach. Obviously, like it's the waves and stuff like that too that plays a massive role in like whether or not it's like good surfing conditions, but it's also like the water quality. Like I see a bunch of people going to like Bolsa and Huntington and all those other places, which obviously have better waves, but just better beaches in general. Long Beach, I rarely see anybody just enjoying themselves on the beach. I remember when I did JG's, we'd have to go swim to the buoys and back. I know Exley and Hendrix, you remember that, and that
Yeah.
water was nasty. Like you could not see like your hands like as you're doing like freestyle to a buoy. Like you should be able to see at least a foot down.
Oh,
Come on now.
Oh, I found it.
Well, that's
It's Union Square's giant metronome is now a climate crisis countdown clock.
wait, so what? Like, how much longer are they saying? Or
it says
So we die.
I mean, it might not say.
It says 7 years and 102 days we have left to dramatically reduce carbon emissions.
You know, you'll go down to the bay, you look to the right of you, but who's at that beach?
I don't see
No, I know.
anybody.
Literally nobody, just like in general. Like it's just not really an enjoyable place. Like nobody thinks, "Oh, let's go to Long Beach." Like
Well, yeah, it's like
it's
the
even Seal Beach. It's closer. It's like, okay, yeah, let's go to Seal.
the breakwall. It's not. I'm not just talking about surfing. Like, obviously, it's a trash issue, but the breakwall doesn't allow like the trash to circulate out, so it's kind of all just brewing in there.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Gets worse.
And marinating.
yeah.
You know, I say we switch it up a little bit. I actually have a Google Forms up here. We have 16 responses to, sports in general. I thought we might want to tie that in since we don't have a guest.
So,
So our first person that submitted something is Jack Russell. He goes to Milliken High School. He's 16 years old, and he played soccer. So let's see. He actually didn't write very much. He didn't write much at all, but he talked about soccer, and he basically said that he really recommends this sport to anybody else. And yeah, that's about it. But I I'd like to add on to that. I know that's short, but I also played soccer with Jack. We used to play club soccer, and AYSO with each other since we were like super young. And soccer, I'd recommend it to people. Quite honestly, I don't enjoy it right now, and that's just because I have other things that I like to do. But it's definitely a really cool sport. Like, did any of you guys play soccer growing up?
I played like AYSO when I was probably from like 6 to 11, I think. But I don't know, soccer it was fun, but it just wasn't really my thing. Like I don't enjoy running like that. So.
Yeah, I understand.
But I definitely made some like really, really great memories with my friends and stuff that I'll never forget. I would recommend playing it.
I was the only one in my family who did not play soccer. All my cousins did, and all my siblings have played soccer at least once. I can't play it.
Why can't you play it though?
Not good with your
You
feet.
just didn't want to.
Soccer, it's like it seems like a fun sport. It's obviously very entertaining, and like a lot of people in the world watch it. It's like the most popular sport in the world, but it's just I don't know. It's too difficult for me to learn because I was like already late into my like 7th grade, and I was like, all right, if I really joined this, there'd be no time for me to really develop. So there's not really any point.
Oh yeah, I understand that. It's a cool sport. Don't get me wrong. I just don't enjoy it now. I mean, if anybody wants to get into more running and definitely wants to do something in addition to that, then maybe soccer's for you. You guys want to go into the next one?
yeah, sure.
Second one is from a girl named Sophia. She's 16 and she goes to Lakewood High School. Let's read what she said. So she said she has not quit her sport yet, but she has been really driven to stop playing soccer. The politics within any sport is brutal, but it feels like within the soccer program, it's a little more strong. The social aspect within all the players is so divided. I just like to stop it there. I quit soccer too, and I do agree with what she's saying. The politics within any sport is brutal. For me, the reason why I quit is because soccer felt more of a chore, and it felt more like a job. I don't know if you guys have experienced that with any of your sports, but I just didn't like playing because it didn't even feel like a game anymore.
No, exactly.
Yeah, my friend Ralphie, he quit soccer like recently because it was just taking too much time from his schedule. And my friend who we mentioned earlier, Jack Russell, he quit too. And Luke quit. So it's like obviously I'm starting to notice a pattern with soccer, and I think that's kind of similar to football because it's kind of like a full-time thing. Like at Milliken, there was like during the summer, like I think starting in usually July, we go from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's definitely strenuous.
Like not just straight practicing from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., but like we're at football for 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We probably like practice for a total of like 4 or something hours, but we do like 2 hours of just, unrelated activities for like team bonding. And that type of stuff is cool. But what I'm thinking is just that 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. is just kind of exhausting.
It's just not your thing. And I mean, like, shoot, I don't think 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a sport is really anyone's thing or many people's things.
Unless
Obviously,
they're like pro, like
yeah,
they're.
if you're serious about something, then I totally understand that.
And that's exactly what Luke was saying, like he said he quit soccer because it felt like a job. Okay, like I understand because I still want to play baseball at the collegiate level and then obviously go from there if I have the opportunity. But when I'm playing right now, I'm still playing because I love baseball. I'm not playing because I have to. And that's the thing. Some people, yeah, you definitely have to work harder. You have to put in extra hours if you want to be that good. But, if you're just playing for the fun of it, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., or not even that, but like let's say a 5-hour practice or around there, even 3 hours feels long sometimes, which it is long, don't get me wrong. But yeah, as soon as it starts feeling like a job and you just don't have the same love for it and passion, like you almost feel like you're being forced to do it, it's definitely time to like reconsider like why you're still playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when I see like people like start to switch up their sports. Dylan Hammy, for example, he played baseball, and he loved it. He'd played it since he was little, and then all of a sudden it just wasn't fun for him. And then he switched to lacrosse, and he loves it. He still plays. I mean, he's not forced by anyone to play lacrosse. Shoot, he could be doing PE. We're seniors now. He doesn't even need to play a sport. I'm sure he doesn't want to play it in college either, but he enjoys it. He loves it.
Yeah.
And that's why he quit baseball for it, because he lost his love for that, at least at Millikan, and he found love for another thing. And that's what I think sports should be truly all about. It's just finding your love and passion and sparking that within yourself.
Yeah. I quit football because I had to get knee surgery, and it just wasn't as fun anymore, obviously. And there's a point where it's just, like, too much, like a whole bunch of things kind of just stack on top of you, like my surgery, and then just, like, practice not being fun.
Yeah, like school and stuff, and, all that.
And then I switched from football to surf, so it's kind of also, like, non-competitive versus competitive sports. Like, I compete for surf, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's kind of just, like, you do it because you genuinely enjoy it and not because you like need to beat others or do well.
Right. No, but back to what the question Sophia said, or not the question, the comment. She was talking about like a lot of politics within sports, and that's like I've seen that on numerous accounts, and which it really sucks because I've also seen like that be the reason as to why people have quit their sport. I mean, I've seen kids that are better than others, that should be playing, and they don't, or they do, but they don't see as much time, and then it makes them wonder why they're not playing. And in all honesty, they're not doing anything wrong. They should be playing, but maybe the coach doesn't see that in them, or for some reason is playing somebody over them, which really sucks because, I mean, at that point, there's really nothing you could do but quit or leave to go to a different school. But that definitely, can contribute into somebody thinking about quitting.
Yeah, it's a lot of, in with the out with the old, in with the new type, like that type of like sentiment with all these like football, baseball.
It's funny. I was just about to get into that because the second part of her response actually talks about how she quit because high school ruined it for her because coaches didn't see what was, her true potential.
She quit?
Yeah, she quit.
Oh.
Or I think she might have quit now. This is a little bit ago, but she said that sometimes coaches have favorites, and I personally experienced that. Nothing against the coaches, but it's just, personal preference, and they didn't see what was within me, and they wanted to organize the team a certain way, so that's why I quit. And, I mean, she quit or she wants to quit, at least, because it's hard to succeed with somebody who wants to hold you down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's also the issues with, like, high school coaches recruiting people from other schools. Like, they obviously aren't supposed to do that, but it happens.
No,
and it
yeah.
just leads to, like, them playing favorites and then actually not really giving the people who, like, stayed loyal to the team and didn't transfer a chance.
Exactly.
And the people who transferred in, like, the benefits basically.
No, that's like extremely relevant too nowadays. Like, I know a ton of people, that not only should have come to Milliken, but just have gone to other schools where they should have been going to another school just because they know a coach or they know like all their friends are there, but yeah, obviously main thing, the coach. And to sit back and like actually think about how like screwed up that kind of is, like they already have an in with the coach who's, obviously thinking the same thing. Like, obviously everybody's going to like someone more than another person. That's just natural within us, within all humans. But as a coach, you can't, I'm not a coach and I'm not telling people how to coach, but that is just not, it's just not right to, already
It's
have,
not fair.
already have like a spot almost given to somebody because you know them.
Yeah, and like my brother's Pop Warner coach, who was my coach too, in like 7th grade, is his coach now. He coaches at Lakewood too, and he was trying to get me and my brother to come over there, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. It's like first off, I don't want to go to Lakewood. Second off, it's just like it just doesn't feel right. Like it's not really like morally right just to go to a school just to play a sport and have a guaranteed spot.
Right.
There's a lot of differing perspectives on it, the politics, as she mentioned. And I think that, everyone has their own experiences with these sports. Some are good and some are bad. But ultimately, just keep doing what you just enjoy, man. Like, just do what you love. Like,
Exactly.
because we could take it at time. I feel like we kind of take it for granted sometimes because, like people really wish they could still play high school sports. Like, they really do wish.
Right, but it's not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. So if you have quit or you just haven't played at all, there's nothing wrong with that. Like you said a couple seconds ago, you have to do what makes you happy. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
I think we're good.
with that being said, yeah.
I think we're ready for to have some fun this summer.
Yeah.
And don't be coy. Don't be